guys, welcome back to the podcast for D2DG. I'm here with Marcus, and we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Nasty Nate Mirizio.
In the mix.
What's going on, man?
Not too much. Just finished up putting league here. It was another successful night because came out on top.
Did you really start off like that? Okay, go ahead, Nate.
Well,
tell him who you beat.
You never beat me, so you never know.
Somebody's got to be the first
I'm
loser.
sorry.
There's something screwy in
Nate
that
beat
formula.
us.
I kept seeing the same people. Nah, it was fine. It was a fun night.
He beat us in the championship. Marcus, were you in the championship?
No.
Marcus, did you
True.
cash?
No, I missed the cash.
Yikes.
So if we're really keeping score here, I've outperformed Marcus since putting began. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
I've runner up twice. That's 2 second place finishes.
Yeah.
So
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
amateur hour, still an amateur. Pro comes in, takes our money. So we're gonna make him earn it by sticking around and talking to us about some amateur stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So what Nate does, which is pretty cool, Nate travels East Coast to West Coast, right?
Yep.
Like every year.
I've
Tell us
been
how
doing
that
it for over 10 years now. End of the summer, I get out there, and my twin brother lives in Los Angeles, and I got friends that live up in Oregon, and family all over. So, I mean, this year I did a full loop, and I was able to sleep at family or friends' houses until I got past the Rockies, and then it was like free camping. There's a bunch of little spots and places you can go to, and the weather cooperated. And we were out there, and this year was kind of special because I hit my over 200 courses that I've played, and then like my 28th or 29th state, I believe, as well.
Nice.
So that was pretty sweet. So I'm over halfway, trying to hit them all, so.
How long you been playing?
I started in 2011. I just got my little dog tag for my 10-year for the PDGA, so that was 2013. Clutch Christmas present every year. My mom renews it December, and
That's
then
cool.
If you're ever wondering what to put on the list,
Yeah.
there you go.
Cool.
That time of the year.
Never
So,
thought of that.
Yeah,
I never thought of that either. That's why we're
easy.
amateurs and he's the pro.
yeah. And AMS, it's cheaper than pro renewal. So,
It is, yeah.
Take advantage while you can.
I will never be a pro, so I'm never gonna worry about that.
Yeah.
Never. MA40 is where I'll max out at.
Yeah.
I'll keep it going. I don't want to take over the whole thing. If you have questions,
I got no questions.
because
Keep
it's
it
just
going.
gonna be me. All right.
Keep talking. I'll
So
jump
you're
in.
stopping at courses both ways. Like you're not just driving straight through. You're literally stopping to play as many fun courses as you can, right?
Yeah, I try and look up like the ratings, and sometimes it's even just finding like a 9-holer that if I'm running out of daylight or whatnot, and it's that also goes into coordinating what states you're traveling through at night and what you have daylight for and stuff. And that's one of the best surprises when you're pulling up to a little 9-holer and you think it's going to be a pitch and putt course, and all of a sudden it's got you trying to execute all your shots and stuff. So I like
about,
the sneaky 9-holers.
About some glow rounds, some midnight showing up. You got those in advance too?
I do some glow rounds. I've done a lot with the Oregon folk out there, and I just did one out in Lawrence, Kansas, and it was on private property. Just happened to be right place, right time, and half of the round was in daylight. The other half was glow discs, and I lost one of my Fury out there, and this guy hit me up this past week, and he's mailing it back. So
Wow.
Fury's coming home all the way from Lawrence, Kansas.
You gotta love
Yeah,
that.
Thank you to
That's
the
awesome.
locals out there.
So you've been making this trip forever, but you're never taking you're not just on the same path, same route every time. You're alternating and you're dipping and diving so you can hit these courses.
Yeah, I usually hit like the 70, 80 if I'm driving, but this trip I went down to a tournament to link up with my brother in LA. The tournament ended up getting canceled, but then I stayed south, visited my mom in Arizona, stayed in like Texas, New Mexico, played Roswell. There was like little aliens on the basket, but the course itself was like kind of pretty cold and windy. But and then I went up into Oklahoma. That was my newest course and list. It was like Nicholas Park or something, and that was really cool, little wooded. There had to be 2 courses because there was baskets I didn't play on the other side, and there was like a drone that flew in like through the woods right at me while I was playing, and I don't even know who was flying the drone, but it was a fun little park.
So you're famous, you just don't know where.
Yeah.
I mean, besides being
I'm
famous
in
here.
somebody's records there.
Did you do the Bob Buckley wave when you saw it? Did you give the awkward? No?
Probably. I
did
probably
that?
did.
All
Yeah.
So let's start off with all these travels. You said you hit 200, right?
Yep, I mean, like
Now-
208, 209 or something.
Some people are going to wonder, Nate, why do you travel at the end of the summer, hit the West Coast, leaving Buffalo and coming back in time for cold-ass winter golf?
Oh, winter
Why not
team
just extend
series,
that?
obviously. No, I got family in the East Coast, so I come back for the holidays, and then I
Okay.
stick around in the winter. Usually, come February, I get a little sick of it, and I find like a tournament in Florida and go down to the Carolinas,
Yeah.
visit Buckley, or
Okay.
go down to Florida
All right.
and find something warm to look forward to. But yeah, we have a winter team series that we're all a part of. It's every couple weeks, and my team's the Ellicott Creek Party Squad. We've been defending champs for a couple years now, and so I like to think
least
that I'm a
two-time
little
defending champ.
bit of a part of the team. So
I like Party Squad because I know what you guys do before every single match.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Saturday morning. It is early morning, but go ahead. What's your
and it's
tradition? Let
cold.
the people know.
Yeah, we shotgun beers, and it's never a good idea. I don't recommend it, but
Well, the thing
yeah,
is, they always try to sucker the other team into it too.
we want to invite them into
I
it.
don't call it suckering. I call it being inclusive.
I'm telling you, there's somebody
There-
that probably does one and has the best game of their life, and then they
Yeah.
secretly just shotgun before.
That's probably how it started. Did Maui start it?
No, I
did.
brought it in from the there's a tournament in NorCal that I play, and it's like their end of the year party. It's up in Ammon Ranch, and they shotgun beers a lot through that. And it's like there's certain holes, if you have the worst shot, you got to shotgun a beer and stuff.
Take notes, Marcus.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
probably
Take
run
notes.
that.
It's-
This year we're gonna do
It's a
some
party
doubles.
for sure.
We're gonna do some doubles, and we're gonna have some fun with them. We wanted to do something different because everybody does best shot doubles or alternating shot, and we think it would be fun if even you do the dollar mullies, right? Fundraising, find a
Yeah.
good cause, but taking worst shot like that's
Yeah,
something
the
different
other
that we don't
team
really do.
picks the shot you
The other
play
team
from.
picks the shot you play from, and that's something to keep in mind. That somebody's got to chug a beer if you have that really bad
Yeah.
shot. You hit first available.
Right, yeah, first
Yeah.
available anytime. That's
That's
a beer.
automatic for your team. So you let your partner down. You both got to drink. I just think
right.
that's pretty fun. You can have a good time. I've played a couple doubles tournaments where you had to fundraise and had some drinks.
Yeah, and
Some really good times.
if you got a kid playing, maybe make them shotgun a grape soda or
Little apple
something.
juice.
Heck
Not so
yeah.
many kids playing right now, but if you get them, you got to be prepared for it.
They're on the up and up.
No, I know.
A couple guys in MA1 Advanced Open.
Even college kids, they're on the
college
rise.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, those college kids are drinking more than us. You know it.
We're giving them a Sprite. No Keystones or Labatt's
Soda pop.
Blues.
All right, let's talk favorite course. Absolute favorite course that you've played.
In the country, definitely Birds of Paradise out there in Humboldt, NorCal, 27 private hole course. I play this tournament called the Buddha Tree, and that one is another amazing party and just a really good time. And you get 100 people on top of this mountain, and usually you have a course that's picturesque and really beautiful. Every single hole is just jaw-dropping.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes like 6 hours to play 27 holes, though. It's an endurance test for sure. It's up and down mountains.
Count
like
me out.
some people could shank, and the discs could still be flying to this day. They go forever.
Marcus has one of those, don't you, Marcus? Somewhere in Vermont.
Oh,
Was it you or
No,
Reed?
Reed threw an envy like 1,000 feet down a ski slope, and it just like we think it evaporated by the time it got to the bottom.
Right?
We have it on video. You can see it like
Forever.
literally 1,000 feet. He was like 600 feet past a 400-foot hole.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's
We
extreme
have it on video.
downhill ski
If
country.
I
right?
can put it in, I'll put it in right now. I think I have the video.
Flip! Oh, it is. Oh, that's just not stopping. That is
go.
very
That's awesome. I have to check that out.
Something else that's awesome I heard you tell me one time is you played in some courses that are redwoods. You could actually tee off on one, right?
Yep, I played
How
a
amazing
couple
is
of
that?
redwood tournaments, and behind Humboldt University, the second hole, the tee pad's in a 12-foot stump, so you stand out and you pitch out of it, and it's just an experience.
I hate the way you did that because that just reminded me of the tournament we played. Not a tournament, but the Five Below. So Nate is a righty backhand thrower,
Yeah,
but Nate can extend his backhand throwing by using a lefty flick to get
Right.
around trees.
Yeah.
It's a little annoying because it's still a backhand, right hand
it's
shot.
the same
Backhand
flight,
shape.
but when
Same
you're
flight,
pivoting
but
and
yeah.
you're in a redwood course, for example, where the trees are bigger than this table, probably like 3 of this table, it's
Jeez.
good to be able to like get around.
And how tight are those? we all know by this point my problem with trees and throwing in them. But
Yeah.
how tight are the trees in those redwoods? Like, you got some fair fairways, or are you pretty in there?
It's a wooded course for sure, and it's
Oh.
just like getting around them, and your
can't
biggest
imagine.
burden is like getting stuck in a stump. And like had some scenarios where you're a foot next to the basket but in a stump, so there's no angle to throw it into the basket.
And you still have the 2 meter rule? Do you fly by that in your casual rounds out there?
And actually, in NorCal, they usually have 2 meter still. In California tournaments, they'll throw them in still, but usually other places they don't. There was a tournament in Florida where one course had it and one course didn't, and it was, of course, the course that had the palm trees that could swallow your discs. They had it over it. It was
There
like
was a few of
maximum.
those in Vegas. I remember throwing one in there, and we never got it. We all watched it go in there, and like we just never got it back. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Redwoods is really high on my list of courses I want to play in my lifetime. Is to get out there
Definitely
and play
should.
Redwoods.
It's a beautiful piece of the world, so you should definitely get there, check out the ocean, see if you can find Bigfoot. You know, it's the works. It's the tourist thing to do.
All right, so tell us a little bit. Marcus and I are going back and forth. One of the last ones, actually the episode that just came out.
Episode
We
2.
went back and forth, and we're talking about lefty versus righty course design, and we're talking local courses.
Don't bring this up again.
Marcus hates all the local courses. Now I have a pro who's actually good that can give his opinion on local courses, and he's hit 200. So I think he's a person that
No one
Yeah.
wants to listen to this again.
yeah, they want to listen to you being wrong.
So you just
First of
want to
all-
know real quick what I think about our
Local scene,
local
our
courses?
and
Yeah.
whether or not Como is a lefty course.
I think everybody's allowed to have their own opinion.
That's what the
and
show's
so
about.
I
Podcast is
know
about.
for a fact that every course in Buffalo is actually a lefty course. So Como would be on that list. I think that it's just a little thing called the lefty magic. And believe me, I have a half of a lefty game. So it comes to my advantage here and there. But I like Buffalo courses of what they have to offer because you have your bomber courses or your really wooded courses. You basically have options. And we have that for the winter time for a good part of the season where your north towns get less snow than south towns. So if you feel like, burning some more calories and throwing some ribbons on the discs, head to the south towns. Let's get it. But if you want to see a tee pad, JD's usually good.
I had to throw a ribbon on my partner for a tournament.
Oh, yeah.
For the winter
Team challenge.
league
He's
team
short.
challenge. That's the photo that went around, and
I mean,
sat
poor
down
kid.
in the snow, and poor Danny's like,
I'll
had
send
to
me that
shovel 'em
graphic. I'll
out.
put that graphic here
who?
too.
Somebody still has that
Someone
picture,
still has that
right?
picture.
I don't know
It's
who
great.
took it, but it was amazing. When I
It's
sat
around
down
somewhere.
to,
I'll do some digging.
Yeah, the
but it
snow's
really
up to
was for Danny. It really was over like between maybe 3.5, 4 feet of snow.
Yeah, it was
and
like
we
up
were
to
having
his
to
chest,
play.
easily.
Like it was
Yeah.
a team challenge
Yeah,
day. They
that
said
one-
we would forfeit.
That one was crazy.
Yeah, the team captain for Emory
Yeah.
said we had to play or we would forfeit. So we showed up and we were 3 holes in, and our team was dominating each and every one of them. So their players just started to quit, and their team captain didn't even play.
Ooh.
He made us show up to
Cherry on
play,
top,
and then
yeah.
he sat out. And then when his team started dropping off one by one, he said, "Can we reschedule?"
Wow. Wonder
No,
how
you
many
can't
discs I
reschedule.
lost that day.
You take the L. But we got some good photos
mean-
out of that.
Yeah.
We played you guys in a foot of snow.
Yeah.
A foot of falling snow this year. Like a whiteout. You couldn't see the basket 200 feet away.
Yep. That was my first weekend back, and it was a good welcome home storm. It was
Yeah,
good.
we pushed the start back just for you, actually. You
Nice.
think I'm joking, but I'm not.
No, I know. We
not.
got it. That's
But for those of
the
you
time
keeping
was
score,
perfect.
I'm not being rude, holding on to my phone, texting. What I'm doing is taking notes. I left my laptop at home, and I need to take notes because this man has been around for a long time, done a lot of things. He's been around the old school people that set up around here. So I got to ask questions, and I'm just taking notes here. So
Yeah.
tell us about let's talk about some of those old timers that you played with and how you came up with them and saw them play. I forgot the memorial. What's his
Tom Beck.
name? Yeah. Were you involved? Like
I didn't play too many rounds with Tom Beck. I know a lot of the older golfers. They're just, my friends and just playing many rounds and learning the different styles of the game. And that's part of what makes it such an amazing thing is that there's no right way to do it. People can throw a mid-range, a putter, or a driver, and you guys still land within a foot or two of each other. And
Yep.
whatever works,
And so you do spend a lot of time out there at Hawks, right?
Yep.
Doug and Mary.
Yep,
Like,
over at
shout
Doug
out
and
to Doug
Mary.
and Mary over at Hawks. It's
Travel
amazing.
Flyers,
Travel
yep.
Flyers, yeah.
Heck yeah, they're the best. They have a great space there with a pro shop and a good course. Building a second course that should hopefully get
How is that
opened up.
coming?
It's coming along.
I know he
one
faced a
day
little
at
bit
time.
of adversity on the original course. He had a nightmare neighbor, had to make some changes, so that pushed back. It's not a putt course per se, the short one,
Well,
right?
the original course has no hole over 300 feet.
But it's
Doug
it's
loves
not
that.
a putt and pitch because of all the woods. Like
No, it's not-
You've got to
it's not
shape
a-
some
it's
stuff
not a
with some
park.
mids and maybe a fairway. Yeah.
You
that
have
fair?
to shape a lot of holes, and you also have to be able to throw straight. And it's like
Marcus can't do
every
that.
every hole's an ace run, but you get a tough kick, and you can even be in the circle, and it makes you have to straddle and shape your putts. And
Okay, so I'm an amateur. This is why I say I have a fairway driver. I think on 9, I think a
9.
Firebird.
9's the longest one on the course. 9
And I
blue,
use a fairway for a forehand over 10 to try to get over the water. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm learning
which is
forehands.
understandable.
that's fine.
And the final hole, 18,
18's
from
the
the
bottom two, from the blues.
Blues, trying to get it there. I remember throwing a heat, trying to get it to flip
Yeah.
up and ride over there.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that's a bad play.
do you throw anything over, say, a mid? What do you?
At Hawks on the Blues, I have 2 holes that I throw a fairway driver,
Okay.
and on the Whites, I throw a fairway driver on 9 because I'm going for a flare skip.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to skip it halfway.
Yeah.
But that's another beautiful thing is for as long as Doug's been playing, he's never bagged a mid range. I think maybe this year.
No, Doug loves the
This year he has. Well, a Gazelle isn't really a mid range.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to say. Is
A Gazelle isn't
a driver.
It's a fairway driver for sure.
Okay.
But
What's a
he's
Gazelle?
always loved that.
Put the
It's-
number. We're gonna put the
the
Gazelle
numbers
numbers up here.
It's like
We can give it a
kind of like
6.
a,
like a
like a
5
T-bird
speed.
with like a little bit of a bead on the brim. It's an old school mold, and
very old school.
people sought after like the Glow Champ Gazelles.
It's a 6-speed.
So if somebody
Okay.
just wants to make Doug's day and send him
Doug's got a
your
lifetime
Glow
supply.
We don't have a ton.
Glow Champ Gazelle.
We don't have a ton of followers, but if you know someone who knows someone, whatever it is, we would love to help Doug out.
Yeah.
And get a couple of these in. So
Yeah.
Gazelle, Champion, Glow, whatever you got, contact us. We're not asking for donations. We got trades. We got plenty of plastic. Doug's got plenty of plastic.
Yeah,
we'll
he
make it
does.
happen. Nate's got. I mean, he doesn't open it up to anybody, but he's got an entire shop of his own.
I could fill these racks here. I could fill.
Easy. Actually, let's take it to the next topic then. Jumping around. You are not sponsored by Trilogy.
Nope.
You only bag Trilogy.
Yep.
Tell us the advantages and why, because we have an opinion where we say amateurs shouldn't do that. You're limiting yourself.
Yeah.
go.
I mean, I started the game throwing Innova, which that was what the most variety was back
They had
when
the most molds,
when I
right?
started. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mixed bagged it. I had a Prodigy and a Buzz in the bag, and I had like a Volt that went real straight. And then in San Francisco, my bag got stolen, I think 2015, 2016. And then I kind of shifted and got like a bunch of, I don't know, some Trilogy in blue and purple. And I always thought that there would be a couple molds that wouldn't get replaced. Like I never thought a Coyote could get replaced. The Road Runner was always a staple in my Metal Flake T-Bird was a staple in my bag. And then slowly Trilogy was coming out with new molds, and I'd field work them, and I'd say, hey, this can work, and it has been. So
Now, did you do it in the bag video for this year yet? or
nope,
you
not
doing
this
it?
year. I
Planning on
usually
it?
do it every couple of years. I
Okay.
keep wanting to do like a summer one, but the time works out that I keep doing it in the winter.
With your family, because your brother's pretty awesome at it. I remember watching one of
Yep,
them.
my half brother's got some good editing skills,
Yeah.
so my in the bag's got some cool little
Okay.
twists and turns. I have one where there's 3 of me on a couch talking at the same time.
That would be cool. We got to have a talk with your brother for real. Have brother
He's got some skills.
Do you lean more towards one of those companies? I mean, do you have like a lot of DD and one or two?
Pretty good mix, I'd
Yeah?
say. Yeah. Probably only a couple lat molds, but they all work, and it's just what's shaped. And I have a good variety of molds because not having a righty flick game, my turnover game has to be on point. So I have a good variety of flippy molds and stable molds.
Somebody brought up a good point. They messaged me because we were talking amateur hour, and they had asked. Sometimes when we talk about molds, we just assume that people know what we're talking about, right? So we talk about the manufacturer, we talk about Trilogy. It's 3 companies, but Latitude
West Side.
Latitude makes the most.
Latitude makes the plastic.
They make the plastic for the other 2.
Yes.
Okay, so it's coming from. Is it Sweden? Where's
Yep.
Sweden?
Latitude,
Yep.
Yeah.
Based in Sweden. Yeah.
Based in Sweden. So it's Trilogy because they have the 3 companies, but it's all made by one, different molds, just so people know. They had asked for us to go a little bit more in depth for the amateurs, so that's I don't have his name right here, but it's a shout out to you. We're gonna try to break it down for you a couple more. We can't just assume everybody knows, because MVP, they've got 3. You can think maybe they're a Trilogy because they've got 3. They got MVP, they got Axiom, and they've got Streamline, right? All made by, but they actually make some for other companies too.
They do mold.
Who do they make
for?
for?
TSA. They mold for Mint.
There you go.
There's a third one. They mold for Wild now. Wild Disc's new molds are made by MVP.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
really?
Yeah, I
When?
just saw like this year.
I was gonna say he had Yakun doing his.
Yeah, I just saw new
Nice.
molds from Wild. I'll try and get a picture or a link.
Oh,
in
that's
here.
awesome. Yeah.
And do they have like the outer brim thing, or are they
No,
more like
they're
streamlined?
single mold, like streamlined. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, because he Kyle owns his molds, so he just takes his molds to whoever he can manufacture for
then
him.
they'll
So
Yeah.
he
put
had,
together.
he got them from Gateway, shipped them over to Yakun, and he
So
had
does he
plastic
own
from
like
there.
the metal plate, like the
Yes.
that? Yeah.
So those molds are his.
Yeah.
He has them.
Cool.
He has a CAD person that does his designs, and he had the stamping machine. I didn't talk to him towards the end of last season at all, but the last information I got was when he sent it to Yakun. That's when we got a hold of. Is it the Shark?
I think that's a mold. I don't
The
know.
Shark made by Innova. The Great White.
The Great White.
White.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said Shark. Yeah, it's a Great White. And what's the mid that he
The
did?
Angler. The overstable mid.
Yes.
Like the
Those were
The
Yakun.
Angler. Yes, those were made by those were
Yes.
the plastic.
The putter was made by Gateway, and then he added those two. So now he's got MVP. Nice.
No, I think Yakun made the Sea Otter as well, or molded the
Well, they
Sea Otter
did?
for him as well.
Okay. Well, you can look that up. We can keep it moving right there. Much experience with Wild. Have you played? Because I know you hang out with Frank. Yeah.
Who's that?
From
Over at,
Wild Discs is Kyle. He's related to Frank over at Fat Man's.
is he?
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
you knew that because I thought you hung out at Fat Man's. a lot.
Yeah, I know Frank. I haven't hung out with Kyle too much, but yeah, Frank's good peoples. He's good in the snowboard, skateboard world, as well as the disc golf.
Yeah.
And really close to Ellicott Creek.
Oh yeah, he was the first shop we found when I started 3 years ago, or whatever it
here.
was.
Yeah.
They told us, swing by Fat Man's, check it out. We walked in,
And he had
super
it.
inviting. Talk to us. What do you got there?
The MVP
What
made.
What is it?
It's the Addicts. It's their new fairway. I want to say. Oh no, new mid 5501
Does it say reborn? Reborn.
is
So-
returning rerun. Yeah,
Yeah. So he had that mold before. I
he had
wasn't
that
aware
mold
of it.
before. So
Okay.
he owns the molds.
Addicts.
That is definitely
It's
the
definitely-
streamlined plastic right
Yeah.
there, because that looks like the Echo.
Yep.
What are the numbers for? Oh, is it mid?
5501.
Yeah, we'll put it up here. We'll put a link or something up here so you guys can see what we're talking about. Look at his.
Do you think the
make sure
brim's going to
side's
be
off.
more like a rock or a buzz?
Sounds more like a buzz.
That's you got to talk to him about. He's the master of molds.
Time
I'm
will
still
tell.
learning.
Yeah, I would be curious to see how that flies.
I'm always curious how everything flies. That's why I keep changing discs in the bag all
That's
the
the
time.
phase of the game. It's like, is this mold going to make my game perfect, or is it taking the molds I own and field working them?
For me personally, it's feel first.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta feel that plastic,
well-
and I gotta feel how it feels in my hand. And then I try to make it work. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna look for something else. Because I can have something in my bag that is my straight. Like I had the Anubis, and I liked it. I put it in my hands. It flew straight. A little bit of turn, a little bit of flip up, but it was a really good mid. And then MVP comes out with the Echo, and he lets me throw it one time, and I bombed it straight down. I said, okay, this one can definitely. It was a farther on Anubis.
Yeah.
So I started playing with that one. I got to Como 7, and I made it straight past
made
the
it to the
gap
corner.
with
Yeah.
my mid. And I said that hadn't happened with the Anubis. Like I
Yeah.
bombed. So that's how I got it in there. But in the winter, that plastic, I'm not a fan of it.
Oh.
So I had to switch back to the Anubis. It has
It
a
was
better
too slippery
grip.
in the
Yeah,
winter?
It was too slippery for me.
Yeah, that like would you use metal flake
Cosmic?
Anubis?
Yes.
The metal flake.
Yes.
That new metal flake that Infinite's running for for all their plastic is really gummy and grippy. Feels really good.
But if it's in the summer, if I'm starting to play a tournament,
soft.
I'm gonna want the Echo because I can fly it a little bit further, and that distance matters for somebody who doesn't crush.
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of crush, what do you say? Let's talk about your distance. What do you-
internet distance or in
let's
real life?
nope. Let's go both. Let's
see
go.
how far
Let's
I've
go
seen him
open
throw
field.
at me.
Let's go open field
Yeah.
distance, and let's go course distance. In a tournament, like
Yeah, I
Your
can.
crush?
I can. I mean, I don't have by any means like the biggest arm, but I don't have like a noodle arm except for when I'm terrible. But I can hit it, 420, 425, flat ground, no wind.
Okay.
I really have a late flip on for my max distance. I do a captain or a first run grace, or probably my max distance, no wind.
yeah, I've seen the gray flip up, and I've seen a lot of your discs that I secretly wait until you're gone, and then I try to write down which one it was, and then try it later, because you throw some nice discs that have late turn.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is amazing because watching something flip up, you're like, wow, that was cool. And then you're waiting, and then it still turns ever so slightly. You're like, okay, if I had a disc that could do that.
Then it would work.
But,
And it's
you know,
just
it's
because
you
I don't have the
throwing it,
flick
not
game,
me.
so it's years and years of learning the turnover game. And I have, ones that turn over quick and ones that kind of wait it out. And that happens a lot where I throw it on such a mean hyzer that people think, oh, he messed that up there. It's about to go in the woods, and then it just keeps on riding out. And it's a beautiful thing when it works.
It's a beautiful thing when you mess up, too, because I saw that on Saturday. A couple of them
Yeah.
came out early going for the ace runs. And
That's winter
little
golf for
dinks
ya.
here
It
and
was
there.
19 degrees.
Hey, the ultimate equalizer for us amateurs against people like this is a course with nothing over 200 feet with trees everywhere.
Yeah.
And if he slips on a pad and you outdrive him, you take that as a win.
Yeah.
You take every one you can get.
Still beat us by 2.
He beat me by more. We beat us by more than 2,
One,
didn't he?
2, 3.
I don't know.
Yeah, he had like 7 or 8.
In the winter, I find myself doing like clubbing up to fairways more often, just so I don't have to rely on all my power to work and everything to work, because I kind of rely on the slip, which is not the best, but I don't know. And then having that league that we were just in, the 5 below league, you have to throw middies or putters, so
Yeah, so
you're trying to.
the 5
get
below
that
league
out
is
there.
here at a short course. We did 9 holes because
We filmed 9
we
holes.
filmed 9 holes. We played the whole 18, but it's 100% on me. I got everything ready the night before. I made sure the recording worked. I made sure we had the right lens. I made sure we had the tripod. I made sure everything was going to work. Cleared the memory card. Everything was going good. After hole 9, we hit the memory, and I'm like, oh, that's odd. I swear I dumped it, which I did. And
He started losing, so he said
No.
the memory card's full.
Actually,
Snapped the memory card in
pocketed
half
it
and said,
away.
I lost the
Yeah.
footage.
what was it,
No,
Mark?
that's all
'Cause
right. I
sent
didn't
you a
want to get on
text.
film on 11
Yeah,
that
you-
day.
you
I
grabbed
ramped off the front of it, and
You did.
the ace pool was like $340. That was
Oh, we didn't get that one on
tough
camera,
month.
right?
You missed
No.
that one on camera.
I mean, we had all 3 of us had good runs at
didn't have a good
that.
ace.
Marcus did not have a good.
I don't have that hole. That hole
Well, it's too straight for a lefty.
it's
That's
too
what
straight
it
for
is.
a
yeah.
lefty.
So the issue is, I think I honestly put
Got
in
the
like
wrong memory card.
an 8 or a 16 gig memory
Yeah, and
card.
just
It
used
was
it
like
all up.
the worst mistake. So we couldn't record. Carrying this camera around 19 degrees, and the one memory card mistake I made, it hurt. But
I'm surprised the camera held up. I was thinking after a couple holes it would be too cold, but
no, it held. It's a good camera.
the
It's a
mics
solid
held
camera.
up,
Yeah,
the mics are
everything
good.
worked. Yeah. So
next time.
the 5 below is you
we'll get out
get
next week.
oh no, I'm going to Charlotte.
you are?
You
Don't
get
have a
4
team?
discs, and nothing can
on a
be
team.
over speed 5. So that's the premise for the whole thing. 4 discs only, nothing over 5. You don't really need it except for one hole.
There's one hole that you could throw a fairway on.
18. There's a couple holes.
18 and
18.
16.
I purposely do a
16.
flare.
18 and 16.
16, yeah.
There are
I
holes
know-
where you could throw like a wide hyzer or get a flare skip with a driver, but if you play the intended line, you don't need it.
You need if you're going to play 5 below, you have to be a bomber. You got to be that person that throws 500 with your drivers, then your mid goes,
No,
300.
You only need 300 on a mid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Justin you throw your mid 300.
Yeah.
Because you didn't.
Damn.
We didn't bring a shovel to clear the tee pads.
Damn.
Hey, we all threw from the same one, buddy.
That's
And
a
I'm
rookie.
pretty
got
sure
it.
you were the closest.
I was the closest.
Not to
What?
the pin.
On 16 or 18?
On
16.
18, I hit a tree.
Oh, that's a lefty hole. 16's a lefty hole.
16's lefty hole, yeah, for sure.
So hopefully we can tie this in, and we'll edit that, and we'll get that video out, and you guys can
I
see
wanna get it out
how we
Friday.
did. I loved it because I had these two on our card, and we had Spencer, another sponsored player who's MPO. He's really good. He actually won it all. And I knew playing against them, I was never going to earn a tee pad. So I was like, guys, let me tee off first here because we started on hole 15.
15.
So I'm like, let me start off here. And I literally told them it's because when we show hole 15, I want people to think I won the tee pad. And they were like, no, we're going to let everybody know that we started on hole 15.
That's right.
And that's why you got the tee pad. And I proceeded to show why by hitting a tree halfway down. It was the worst drive of all of them. But I recovered. I had some good runs. Marcus did not have a single one. They were all layups, if they made it there.
Yeah.
But again, Nate got the closest with that little nub that used to be there. It may or may not be there any longer. I heard Nate had a hacksaw there the following day. So it might be a little dip in front of there, but it's a nice hole to get. And we were ready to run down there and celebrate with him. And man, that hurt.
Damn. Yep, $340 just ramped away.
Yep.
So we ended up there because Marcus had the brilliant idea. We got some mics so we can go mobile more and upgrade our game. But nobody thought to look at the weather when Marcus said, "Hey, let's hit that 5 below." And it was
I notoriously
cold.
don't check the weather. Like, we went to Pinewoods. I was like, yeah, let's go to Pinewoods. I have half day Thursday.
Yeah,
Week.
yeah.
And someone was like, hey, you know it's going to rain, right? And I was like, nope, didn't look at the weather, but I'm still going.
Yeah,
Yep. And for some reason, we still thought it would be a good idea. So
I mean, it was fun.
No wind, so
no wind.
we had fun because it was a card of D2DG
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of talking shit, but we had fun because some of the shots were good.
We threw some
right?
good shots.
Some good, a couple of good putts, a couple good shots, but it was nowhere near the performance that these guys are capable of. It's a short course, so I have a shot at 5 or 6 of them, but I expected these guys to hit more metal than we did. So what I'm hoping is Marcus has a brilliant idea to go back when it's warmer and a little safer on the tee pad.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
hope nobody hits it next week so we can get back to the ace pool.
Well, see, you're not gonna be. I'm gonna be at Pinewoods. I'm just gonna buy into 5 below.
You can't do
Only
that.
throw mids in my team challenge
Yeah,
round.
right?
You're gonna play both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Both at the same
There's
Say-
nothing saying he can't do
Let's
that.
do your match play match and 5 below.
And 5 below at the same time.
There's nothing saying you
jealous.
can't do that.
I'm about to tell everybody from Ellicott that we're going to Pinewoods and playing.
We're moving our home match over.
You
loaded
could just
up.
push yours back. I mean, it takes, depending on how many people, it did take a little while. It took almost 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't feel
Yeah.
like playing 3 rounds.
No.
My endurance ain't up that high. I don't know.
So I can't be there because I'm going to Charlotte. I'll be playing some nice courses and some better weather. I
Jealous.
invited Marcus.
He did invite me, but I
And
said
he
I got
said,
team
I
challenge.
got team challenge. And I said, you
committed.
have cold ass team challenge, or you could be in warm weather shorts throwing in some courses that are pretty nice.
committed to my
He's
team.
committed.
I hope it stays cold. I want it to be icy and
Yeah,
I want
the
it
ground
to
needs
be
to freeze.
not swampy.
Okay, well, Nate is notorious for being super fast. He's a really good player. He knows what he's going to throw. Steps up. We talked about this, I think, in week 1 or 2.
Yeah, week 1.
Yeah.
He's good. He walks up and he lets fly. He's not on that tee pad probably more than 15 seconds.
Yeah,
He might walk up, look at something, but he's letting fly and he's out of the way. And if you take too long staring at your shot, he's already walking on, ushering you to the side because he'd like to keep the game moving.
I've done that a couple times. But
And his putting, the reason why he wins is awesome. Hopefully we can, I don't know if we can put one of the clips in from earlier that we had today
Yeah,
of him or
put
something
a
like
clip in.
that. And you can see his form and his style is, like I've said 100 times, he's just giving the disc back to the basket like it's returning it to a buddy. Like when you pick it up off the ground and you say, here you go, here's your disc. That's basically what he's doing. He just walks up, throws it back, and way more often than not, it's where it needs to be. So
it just sucks when you take a ton of time just to miss. So you might as well take not enough time and miss, and then
you have a
like
better
fool.
excuse when you're missing.
That's
I'm
my
going to try
favorite
that
thing.
strategy.
My favorite thing when you're stuck behind some card and you see the guy lining up his putt for like 35 seconds.
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite thing to do is just be like, well, he's not going to make this. There's no chance.
You can already tell.
Actually, the famous one, the famous offender, Nico.
Yeah.
No,
LaCastro.
actual LaCastro.
Yeah.
And they asked Paul Macbeth about it one time. And he literally said the longer he takes, the more chance he's going to miss. So I let him take as much time as he needs. Macbeth can say that because he's the GOAT, but still, it applies here.
Paul's a good
right?
trash talker. He's a good,
Is he?
subtle trash talker.
So, oh yeah. Well, never really does it during. He's more
he does
after.
it in interviews.
Really, really subtle. His social media game ain't that strong, so he's doing it on an interview, answering a question, which you can do when you're the top dog.
He
right?
thanked Ricky for choking again in his third Worlds.
Damn.
Oh my goodness, I do not remember that.
I
do not remember that. That's
I
boss.
mean, there's the clip when he lost to Shoestrick or Big Germ when they were on Prodigy, when Germ was on Prodigy 2. And Paul's famous line was, well, he threw his Firebird better than me. Because they had Prodigy stamp Firebirds.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
All right. So, Paul, shout out. Actually, I do know because Paul and Brody had the little tiff
Had a little beef.
just not that long ago, and Paul made the statement, like, whatever, he's still got to throw discs with my name on it, so I hope he stays. Like,
well,
that was...
I mean, can we say what Justin does to all the discs?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. This is free, open space, safe space.
Justin wipes the Macbeth name off of all his buzzes and stuff.
I think he gets rid of most stamps, period, now.
He does get rid of a lot of stamps, period.
But if it's Macbeth's name,
he always wipes off Macbeth's name, especially on like the 4-claw buzzes.
Yeah,
he
the 5-claw. Not all the 4-claw, because he had some, but yeah, he likes to wipe the stamps. I know that. I didn't realize. I thought he was just anti-stamp. He likes speed discs.
No, he told me that one time. I mean, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but
okay,
I'll ask him and put it in if I'm wrong. But
all right,
I remember him telling me that.
Where are you at on the spectrum of talking shit, Nate? You like to throw a little dig in there every now and then?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on the person. There's some people, I mean, I try to go towards their game. I'll shit talk if I think that it'll help them step it up a little bit. But if they're already kind of in their head and crumbling, maybe I'll just ease off the gas a little bit. But definitely to your homies or casual round, I don't mind.
Oh, casual rounds are fair game.
Some games.
My Lord, pay around.
And, again, it seems like it depends on the person. I like, certain players. I'll call him a verbal bully and see if his game falls off afterwards.
Do you want to know what I said to Ryan Peters? And he brought this up to me, and I didn't remember saying it. We were playing a Sunday morning Como league, so a league round for money. He parked 7 at Como from white, like to 15 feet. Through the big high turnover, got through the trees, 15 feet. We walk up, I see where it is, I go, hey, nice par.
Oh, man.
And he proceeded to miss the putt.
Oh, man.
I don't remember doing this whatsoever, but he came up to me like later.
It's very convenient to forget your shit talking.
I know.
Because you're a lefty on a lefty hole.
And
right, this guy got it. Wow.
Damn.
And that's your home course. You put the work in on that course, so.
Yeah, so I'm going to design a better basket than that one.
I mean, it's kind of like helping to design a course and then losing to a guy who plays it blind.
It is what it is.
That happened.
It happens.
It absolutely happened. I have the trophy disc to prove it.
I got one too. They all say the same thing.
You got second place. We got first place. Shout out to Luke. I mean, man, Luke, he hit the distance shots and we beat Marcus. We never played that course before. Marcus helped design it and he lost to us.
It happens. I've seen Doug lose at Hawks before. It happens.
I'm just saying. You do knock the amateurs. You're an elitist. This has been shared. Everyone knows this. You do knock the amateurs. So when we get to a win over you, that's something that we like to enjoy and rub in a little.
Yeah, it's fair.
Just like that putting thing that happened earlier today.
That's fair.
You jumped out to me losing. You didn't even make it to that bracket, man.
No, didn't even make it.
All right, so how do you handle somebody talking shit to you? Let's say it's a tournament and somebody's making comments.
Just try not to focus on it, not think about it, like kind of let it just bounce off of you and try and just focus on whatever shots in front of you. And
yeah, I don't think we covered Nate is the 2021 New York State champ. Like, we talked about him, but I don't think we covered it today.
In a previous episode.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that Nate's 2021 New York State champ.
New York State champ, yeah. Somebody wanted to talk about who wasn't there, and I backed you up saying no matter who was there.
That's right, because
I got the trophy.
Pulled it off somehow, some way.
Everybody else that was in MPO for New York State championship came up short against this guy.
There was people there too, believe it or not. Yeah, I went in, played both courses blind. Actually, there was supposed to be a different course, and it was just super flooded and wet. And
I do remember that. Yeah,
he made a change really close to the end, and I think that did make a couple players back out because they went to practice that other course, and it was just like a swamp. I never went to it, but I heard it was like inside the circle is a mud pit, kind of.
Oh, so they they didn't drop out because he made the change. They dropped out because they were going to practice the course, saw it was bad, and then they were like,
yeah, that's
no.
what I think.
And then he
I
probably
can't
caught wind of
confirm
that and said, we're going to have to change this. To keep
And
people.
yeah, he might have been that, but I think they were just hoping that it's going to drain, and it just never really drained.
And do you remember the courses that you did play blind that you won?
One was like I think Triple C, or it's like Cornell Community College, and then the other was at this guy's house who is a local legend there in the Binghamton area. I'm spacing his name, but it was at his house, and it was an old like horse training farm, and so it was a cool facility that had like random logs laid down for like horses to jump over, and they would like block roller lines for fairways and stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it was for, and I guess he only had the front nine put together, and in a week or two, the community came together and set up the back nine to make it a reality.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, so it kind of, maybe that gave me a slight advantage from the locals not being able to get 100 practice rounds under their belt. But I went into both courses blind and, yeah, just played my game.
Did you go with some friends travel up there with you? Anybody you know here? That because you usually have what's his name, Justin? You travel with some other friends. Did anybody go up there with you?
I went with my girlfriend, and we went camping in Ithaca, which is like 35 away from there. Robert Treeman's always been my favorite campground. Even as a kid, I went there.
Okay.
And so we decided to camp there, and then drove up. And
Did she caddy for you?
she walked around. She caddies.
I mean, it matters, right? You got to take
with
that
the
back so you
support,
can run, so you can win.
She doesn't carry my bag or anything,
Yeah.
but
She's there for sport. She's your caddy. She had the caddy tag. She just doesn't have to carry it, right?
absolutely.
I mean, you got a cart anyways, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you
Zuka
carry a
cart?
bag, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure I rock the Zuka for that.
Yeah. Because that's what winners do. They rock the carts.
Right.
Or they let somebody else carry their bag.
Zuka life.
So
Heck yeah.
you won New York State champ.
Mhm.
You've won plenty of tournaments locally.
Got a handful.
You only throw Trilogy, but you're not sponsored by Trilogy.
Not yet.
So that's been my question: is your ambition to be sponsored? Is that something? Because a lot of amateurs strive to be sponsored to get to that next level in their mind. I mean, for me, even to get someone to pay for my discs.
I mean, it definitely would be a dream come true for one of them to pick me up, and I have applied. Just haven't gotten their attention fully yet.
Okay.
And we're going to say it's not because of your skills. It's your social media. You're not blasting it out every day.
Yeah, my social
skills
media
are
is a little slacking.
Yeah.
I go in waves. Sometimes I share where I've been and where I'm at, and sometimes I'm just I'm living in the woods where I don't have Wi-Fi, and so I kind of fall off that way too, just completely unplugging from that phone social media world.
And like we said earlier, you could fill these shells with your plastic, so you don't need plastic. You don't need free plastic from them. So what does a pro work on? Well, I mean, that's from our aspect, but like
honestly, it's not. I'm never really working towards. It's not like. I mean, it's a goal of mine, but I'm not changing my game towards that sponsorship. I'm really just trying to focus on having fun and getting lost in nature, and those are like my real things. And a lot of times, it's just. When you get beat playing your best game, then it's still a good feeling because you still put everything that you could out there. But it's really just whether or not you had a good round or not, and so.
I really hope during our audio of either putting today or during Five Below that we were able to catch one of Nate's laughs because this man does have fun on the course, and his laugh is pretty infectious. You just hear his laugh and it just makes you laugh more. It's one of those where it's just having a good time. So
yeah, sometimes you gotta laugh at yourself. There's some people that like they'll bogey or even just par within the first few holes and they think their game's already over, but it's just like you got a few more chances out there.
Yeah, that's me. This man has to talk me off a ledge more often.
I definitely get that. I understand that sentiment.
Yeah.
It depends on the course too. Like if you go to Emory and you start on hole 1 and you par hole 1, you're like, oh great, that's a birdie basically.
Yeah.
But if you go to ECP and you start on 1 and you par hole 1, you're like, great, I lost one to Matt most of the field.
Yeah.
I just feel like that way in general. I just like my approach doesn't hit metal or go a couple feet past the basket. Did I even try? And Marcus is like, good shot. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was the worst shot. He's like, you're 15 feet away. You're going to make the putt. No, I didn't hit metal. I didn't go past it. I didn't give it I'm just downhill right away. And Marcus is trying to talk me off a ledge. Yeah. Sometimes it works. Sometimes he's just like, all right, buddy, you're on your own. I'll see you later. And that's that's part of being an amateur, I guess.
Yeah,
Just
I
not
think
being
a
happy with
biggest
it.
thing for an amateur's game is to recognize when they're outside of their comfort zone, and to instead of trying to attack, just do that layup, play your par golf, and let your competition make the mistakes. And that was like a big
Yes.
transfer when I stepped up. It was no longer I can lay this up and be okay. It's this guy's about to go full throttle, so I need to. I
talking to
need
Sam
to
about
alter
that.
that.
Yeah?
For sure. Just talking to Sam about that.
Which Sam? What the people know
Sam
which Sam we're talking
Castiglione.
about? Sam Castiglione,
Local
I would call him a little
pro,
local
yeah.
legend. He's been around for some time. Played with some of the old timers. Designed a lot of the courses that we're playing now. Bond and
Yeah, Bond and Royalton.
Royalton. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Couple
like.
others.
I'm the 2021 New York State champ. I'm pretty sure Stiggs is the 2008 New State champion. You might want to look that one
gonna
up.
look that up.
That's how.
Yeah, he's got it
yeah,
faster on
he
the
is.
laptop, but
I
yeah.
could be wrong, but
So, but
he's been in the
that's-
game for a long time.
Yeah.
And I remember being a newer player, and him and I got partnered up for the local ice bowl back when it was at Chestnut Ridge, and I was thrilled about our game, and he was like, "It's just not good enough." And we came in. He was right, but
He was, well, he was keeping track that way. Yeah. I met up with him.
Spot on. 2008 New
Yeah.
York State champ.
2008
There
New
you go.
York State champ.
See, so
yeah.
that
Sponsored
doesn't-
by Prodigy.
Prodigy.
yep.
Yep. A lot of baskets around here at Prodigy, thanks to Sam and all the work he does. I met up with him when we were going to do a tournament. It was our second tournament for Joseph Davis State Park, and we wanted to do something a little different. We caught wind of layout that he used with some of the old guys, and it was originally 27 holes, but you turned it into an 18-hole marathon with like a 1,000-foot hole, a 980-foot hole, 700-foot hole, and I wanted his permission to use that layout for one of our tournaments, and he was super awesome. He met up with me at ECP, played around, talked, gave me permission, even said he'd come out to Joseph Davis to meet us and show
Walk
us
it out.
what he was doing
Perfect.
and walk it out like on his own time. He is a teacher, if I remember correctly. Like the patience he has to deal with AMs comes from his normal profession of being a teacher.
Yeah.
And I believe if we check, he is part of that Yulee University.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So Paul Ulibarri, however you want to say it.
What is it?
He has like the Yulee University. He has coaches all across like the nation, and Sam represents him here.
Huh.
Something like that.
That's awesome.
I remember him announcing it.
The Yulee
So-
Leadership Institute?
That might be it. Check it.
That's cool.
You'll see Stiggs up there, right? Or he's in there somewhere.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
And with
So-
along with Hastings.
What a guy.
Yep, along with Hastings. So so he's recognized for his leadership. He's recognized for his ability to coach, teach, train, design courses that Marcus hates because Marcus doesn't want to
Doug
adapt his
designed
game.
the courses I hate.
Who did?
Doug.
Why?
You love Como. What do you
I love
mean?
Como.
He designed it, and he got a lot of heat for that. People said that he designed that so they would have to go to his pro shop and buy more discs
Yeah,
from him.
that's what Doug told me too. Because it's so close to
Wait,
the
Doug
water.
told you he designed it so people would have to?
No.
No,
told
that's
people
what people
thought that.
complained about when he
I
made
mean,
it. And
you
it's
have
like,
a choice, right? You lay up or you go over the water. You
Well,
don't have to.
no.
or
Yes.
you just play at a different course. But it's like
Oh,
not
yeah.
every park is a series of islands, so it's just a unique
Yeah.
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah, Como Park is just a series of three
Yeah.
different islands.
I remember. I mean, as an amateur, brand new, 2 or 3 months in with Justin and Bob, bringing the donation discs, walking to 14's tee pad. Like I knew. They told me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go to the Reds
I
or
hope
go
I
on the
make
other
it.
side or throw from here.
DX Wraith, that's what I threw across the water. It was nice. Hyzer flip, DX
I
Wraith.
was throwing whatever plastic we found or somewhere that didn't want it or donated or whatever it was. A lot of it was DX, like an Archangel or something. Just something. Just here, throw it like this. Throw it like this.
Yep.
I remember one specific instance. I'm with Justin. He gave me 2 discs, and he obviously it's Justin. He knows how they fly. He knows what I need to do. So I let one fly, and it swear to you, 'cause it gets windy, a crosswind coming sometimes,
Yeah.
right? It barrel rolls and then like flips up and dies. And he shakes his head and he goes, "I've never seen that." I was like, "You say that a lot when you play around with me." He's like, "Here, take this disc and do it again." So he gives me another disc. I let fly, and it doesn't barrel roll and die. It barrel rolls, but then it just starts heading really far right. And he's like, "I don't know what to tell you. Let's move on." Like the wind or whatever happened, I was like, it would have been easy for me to quit and say, "I never want to play this course again."
Yeah.
But I went back and I
still
now
go
I'm
back.
actually I
now you
lost
make
2
it.
discs. I lost 2 discs. I was there with Jeff.
Oh,
This
I didn't know you lost
last
two
week?
last week.
Yeah, we were on 16 and
Como strikes again.
we're testing new discs. Like we grabbed some discs. I tried to get the trace back in my bag, so I had a couple of traces, and then I wanted to try a couple of other discs. And we're on 16, so you got water on the left and water on the right, way right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So I threw one tight against the trees, and I'm like, all right, that's gone. No worries. So then I throw another one, and I don't get the distance that I used to get that tree that's out in the field.
Yep.
I used to get there with like a Hades
Yeah.
and go past it, and then I would just have a little pitch up. So I'm like, what? It's a foreign thing that we were working on, and we're working on new plastic. So I said, all right, let me take something flippy. I want to work on that flip up shot that Marcus has been trying to teach me forever. Sometimes it works. I'm getting better at it. I was flipping up my mid pretty easy. So I grab it. I forgot which one it was, but I just grab it. I give it a mean hyzer, and it just hit a little bit of headwind, and it just kept riding to the right. And I'm just waving, and I think it was Eric was coming down this way on his card, and he's waving, and we're all just waving on my disc, knowing that puppy ain't coming back. So
That's it.
2 discs lost on that, and I've been playing it long enough not to lose discs, right? If I'm gonna play
Yeah,
safe,
you know.
play a tournament, I'm not losing discs there. I just don't. But playing a casual round, trying to learn some new discs and see if I can fit something into my bag, letting fly, I lost discs.
When Como's your home course, you just accept that you're gonna lose like 10 a year.
And some you
Como's
lose on
eats
purpose.
like 10 a year.
Yeah.
Some you lose on purpose. Some you take out to 18's Peninsula and you just do a 360
Toss
and
them off the end of
let
18.
fly because you don't ever want to see that disc again.
What did we say? It was going around on Facebook maybe 2 years ago or last year. It was like you get 5 putts from 15 feet. If every putt you makes $1 million, every putt you miss is a year in jail. How many would you do it? And I said absolutely I would do it. And I even threatened to people. I was like, we can film it, and I will throw my favorite disc into the water off of 18 at Como if I miss 1 putt.
And
We never did it.
because we know you would miss.
No, because they're 15 footers. You should make every 15 footer.
You should make every 25 footer. How'd that work out for you today, bud?
25 is a little farther than 15.
We feel the pressure. I don't know about you. The amateurs, we feel the pressure. You're at a putting league that you're helping run, and you're at a distance where you feel you should make.
The 25 footers.
What do you feel a percentage is safe? What do you feel a percentage for the pro is? How many 25 footers should you? Let's say if you throw 10, how many should you make as a pro? Honestly.
From 25, you should be making all 10.
Okay. How many do you think as an amateur we should be making?
You still should, from 25, I'd say make 5 or 6.
Okay.
I was
I'd
going to put the number
say.
at 7. But that's,
I was gonna put the number at 7 or 8.
I
5
think
or 6 makes me feel better about my game, but I still hate it that I
I'm
should
still
be.
leaving strokes out there.
I
Personally,
left some.
Personally, I'm aiming for like 85% inside the circle.
I know
But
my
that's me
personal.
being really high overachiever.
Yeah, my personal limitation is once I step back from 25. Like I have a basket, and I've marked it out. We've had putting practice, and we've done little challenges back and forth. And I know at 10 or the 15, the 20, and the 25, I'm making my percentages, and I'm good. Once I step behind that, I struggle. Once I step outside the circle, my personal thought on my percentages is my step putt hits metal more often than not, and I can feel comfortable in it. But Marcus is telling me I don't need it. I can stay still, just work on my spin, work on my angle, and I can get it there, which I am trying, but to me, it's more of a comfort thing. Like, if I'm anything outside the circle, I'm trying to step putt to get that advantage because I'm definitely getting more pop on it. So I feel like in my level, I should be making a lot more than I made against you in that championship one, man.
You got to step it up when it
That
counts.
hurt. I did to get there. Like, I definitely did to get there. The 2 matches before that, I found my rhythm, and we were good. We cruised through those.
Yeah.
And then we meet up against you, and then I went 1 for 4 from 25.
Yeah,
that cost us.
Pressure gets to you.
It really does. If you actually roll back the camera, and the one before that, when we're up against Sam and Tracy, you'll hear me talking to myself. It's just pressure.
Yeah.
It's just pressure. You can make this. You can get the win.
I mean, yeah, you beat
the one
Sam and
before
Tracy.
the one before that, I was
good
doing the
team.
same thing. I got the win from 30. I had to make both of them.
Yeah,
made
You
it.
saw that.
Then against them from 25, made it. So I was like talking to myself through that, and then to get up against this guy, and it's just like out the window
Yeah.
from
I mean,
25. I was
Tracy
making some, but
Tracy has won over half of these putting leagues.
Yeah, the ones that Nate doesn't show up
When
to.
Nate doesn't show up to.
Sorry,
Sam wins other putting leagues very often.
Oh, yeah.
He's been slaying.
Yeah, the fact that Chris and I beat them, because Chris carried us the first.
Well, Chris is a really
Two.
good putter.
Really good.
That's like one of the strongest parts of his game.
Yes, from everywhere. He's in circle 2 throwing lasers, so he's good.
He's getting no love from the baskets today.
He was
Today-
getting no love from the baskets today.
So the first 2 matches, he had to carry us. I was not doing well. Then it kicked in, and then we just cruised through the losers bracket. We were just cranking them out, and then when we get to the championship, was it 3 spit outs?
yeah, he had 2 in
Like
one
legit,
round.
not just
Like
hitting a
2
chain,
just
but
dead
legit
center and
pull.
straight through or
through.
straight back off. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
and I only had when I finally get it there, I had one bounce off his partner's
Another
disc.
Yeah.
Hit.
It's all part of the plan.
I think we should clear it in between.
No.
Like in between, not after everyone, but I'm not saying for me. That's a lot of discs that
a
are
lot of
sitting in
discs,
there.
but that's all right.
By the time you get to if you're shooting last, you're getting to your last one. You could have 5-6 discs
Yeah,
sitting in
it's
there.
It's not
make
like
the putts.
you
Lock
get
it.
trampolined all the time, but it does happen. You get ramped out.
No, I just mean in general. I'm not saying because of what happened to me. I'm saying in general. If you have 5 or 6 discs,
Yeah, more likely to have one
Laying
bounce
in there,
out
you're-
or pop off
yeah.
another disc
Maybe you want to have the partner that's not as good go second.
nope,
first.
no, just clear it after the first round and clear those first 4.
Yeah.
No,
No.
It's all part of the
It's all part of
strategy.
the game. You
I mean, you're here for a putting league. You're here to learn your putt. You're not going to putt with 6 discs in the basket.
Yeah, but that's just like it could happen, and like it happened where you had a perfect putt today and you hit the middle ring and it bounced you back out. It wasn't even the nub, and it's just like freak things happen,
That's annoying.
and then it winds up on the dirt, and you're like, that's weird.
and you're like, not against Nate. Not against Nate.
Ah,
It was,
yeah, I say that all the time.
The work that we did to get there and then just fall like that was upsetting. Like, it was a quick match and it was over with.
It was a quick.
He
I
sat
was
there for
glad
a
I
half
didn't
hour
want to
waiting.
like have to play 2 games, or it would have taken too long.
All right.
You tried to ice me, it didn't work.
No, see, we tried to ice you, and then you iced us, and we said, okay, we're ready to go. And you're like, all right, I'll be back. Now that everybody's ready, I'll be back. And then he leaves, and he ices us back. And then that was just bad
Yeah.
for us. But, I mean, we're in the money. Marcus isn't. If we're keeping track, I'll have a little counter or something up here. I'm in the money. Marcus
You,
isn't.
you
Until he
asked for a
catches.
counter in the week 2 episode.
I saw that. I
Did you
saw
watch the
that.
video where
yes.
I said I'm not doing this?
Yeah, because we were doing the left for Como. He put up the course, and we were doing if it's left, if it's neutral, if it's righty. And I said, we'll put a counter in because we're literally doing it, right? And then I think he did count, and I think he realized
I
how
know,
many were
I
not
genuinely
righty.
didn't count.
So he's
I
like,
just-
I'm not doing that in the parentheses. I'm like, well, he's in charge of the video, so I can't force him to do it. But
Since you started the podcast, have you cashed?
I don't think so.
Since you started the podcast, have you not cashed?
yes, last week,
You didn't cash.
your partner,
Josh. Oh yeah, he
he
said
played last week with new putters.
he said he struggled. He had like a more overstable putter, and he wasn't getting that. He has a really
Yeah.
like high nose
Yeah.
down, and he was
He was
clicking
my
today.
partner, and we 2 and done. We were
It was
out.
basically the times he would miss is when he was letting go the height of the basket and it was hitting the dirt. But if he was tossing them up high, they were pretty much crashing the sweet
Yeah,
spot.
I mean, we saw
Yeah.
like he had one roll along the edge of the band. Like it hits the band, rolls down, and still finds its way in. I was like,
awesome.
that shouldn't happen, but it did. So, yeah, with him, I didn't. But other than that, yeah, I'm
held his
definitely
own today.
outperforming Marcus on this,
I
and
think you are.
I know I am because I have the winnings to prove it. I got the cash, you don't, and
Stats don't lie. Yeah.
they don't. Honestly, but if it was like me versus Marcus, more times than not, he would win.
Let's go money match right now.
I was going to say we can do it indoors, yeah, but outdoors, your fluffy putt's not going to work.
That's why I changed my putt.
It's not going to work outdoors. Well, I'll go a heads up with you indoors and outdoors.
Okay.
And then you'll just hurt and cry
do
in
it.
fetal position.
Only if we can get the stats across this.
We'll get the stats across.
He
the
won't
screen.
do it if he loses. He absolutely won't do it.
All right. So
Yeah, I know this because I beat him in a virtual putting challenge that we had for the Invitational.
Yeah.
And he was not happy. He used to be my, what do you call that? Your measuring stick. Like you find somebody better than you, you reach it, and then you're like, okay, let me find somebody else so I can
Damn.
reach that. He used to be mine. Sadly, when I first started playing, it was Kevin McDonald.
Yeah, that's.
He was low hanging fruit, so I was like, if I can catch this guy, I'm good. I caught him in like 3 months. And then I'm looking for people, so it was like
this guy.
Mo and the boys.
Yeah.
Right? And then I beat them in a couple tournaments. and not regularly, but once it happens, you've attained something for me. And then I
Caught him
beat
on an
you.
off day. And
Yeah, I mean, if it
game
happens
was
more
there.
than once, okay,
Yeah.
right? And it happened, 2 or 3 times. I'm sure he crushed me probably 7 other times, but if it happens more than once, it counts. And then I caught you on Bomb Blues and Emery
like 30
Gold.
mile an hour winds. And Emery Gold's not. That doesn't count.
Listen.
Emery
If
Gold's-
everyone plays the
love
course
Emery
at the
Gold.
same time,
No.
it counts.
The Emery Gold one's
If I played it on a different day,
I don't care. The Emery
you
Gold
could say it doesn't
We're
count.
wrapping this podcast up.
were you not using? You weren't using your discs.
I
Or?
just gave up at 9 holes. And
because
then
he was
still-
losing to me.
No, because it was pouring rain and I'm miserable.
We all played
yeah,
in the
and
same
I
conditions.
was miserable and I should have gone
It
home
counts.
at 9.
Okay.
You were
Before
on
we-
towels?
I don't think there was enough towels in the world that day.
It was a steady rain. It wasn't pounding, steady rain. When we got out of the woods, like at
Yes.
8 and 9, it really started to pick up to a steady rain, and then we got out of the woods into the open, and then it was just a steady rain, so everything was wet.
Yeah.
But it still
was
counted.
a learning experience for me
Still
to
counted.
just, like, if I know I'm not feeling it, to just pack it in.
Yeah, I know he won't share this because he's in charge of the editing, but I have the scorecard that he was beating me by 1 going into Bond 18, playing blues. He was beating me by 1 or 2.
I don't know if I was beating you. I don't.
He was. You were. You were
Okay.
beating me, and I birdied 18 from the blues,
Yeah.
and you shot a
It's like a
9er,
9 or something.
and I ended up beating him. We're gonna count that, and I'll show
Sure,
a
that one
scorecard if I
counts.
can. But why does that one count? Because you were like, oh, super windy conditions, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
Rain,
Nine?
That
wind?
one counts because I cared.
It counts, right, Nate?
It counts, but to be fair, 18 from the Blues is not a lefty-friendly hole, I'd say. It's tough. I mean, a lefty flick, you could get there. I
Yeah.
Okay, but he went OB 3 times.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. Yeah, that one, sure. That one counts.
Although
Yeah.
Bond is certainly a lefty course, that hole in particular isn't very.
You definitely had 17 other holes to gain your lead higher than one
Bond is
stroke
not a
before
lot.
we
Oh,
got
Bond
there.
Blues is a pretty fair
Yeah,
course.
it is. And I don't care what happens, casual or not. Just because you choose to get up at some point and say, I'm done with this round, but you continue to play, you take that L, buddy.
No, not mentally.
Take
I
the
don't.
L. Stats, they don't lie. Somebody, I
That's
don't have it.
okay.
I wasn't keeping
Anyway.
score.
It's on someone's U-disc.
It's
So
on
now I
someone's
need
list.
I need a new goal. So I think it'll be Nate.
Sure.
No, it won't be Nate.
go.
I don't play MPO, but if I beat Nate, it'll be one that I record and let people know.
We all have our off days.
Yeah.
You catch me.
It happens. I caught Justin a glow round. I tied him, but he allows me to count it as a win because I tied him. Because it was.
I beat Justin at ECP. I don't think I've ever seen the kid more mad in my life.
Oh my God. I'd be upset if
I
I
think
lost to
Alicia
you.
beat him at ECP that same day.
That's not fair.
Caught him
Really?
on an off day.
Yeah.
That's a
It
horrible
a
day. Was he throwing
rough
lefty?
Day. No, he was just hit every tree.
I mean, he throws lefty. He does.
Yeah.
Just to
He
just, to
was
rub it in
not-
on people.
Yeah, it was my going away present from him. It
Wow.
was the day before he left.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for joining us, Nate. We
Yeah,
really
thanks for all
appreciate the
your wisdom, your
conversations.
insight.
Thanks for having
We
me.
hope to have you back on again at some point before you head on out
we definitely
for the
will.
season. Yeah.
I'm here for a few months, so.
Yeah, if you get a in the bag or something that we can share, anything you want to share with the people, you let us know, and we can try to help out with that. But yeah, man, it's lovely talking to somebody who's traveled as much as you and seeing the courses that we want to play. So
Yeah.
it's much appreciated.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Yeah, you want
Turn
notifications?
notifications on.
Turn them on. So when we try to release these things, you get them, and you can find out what Marcus said last week that is so outrageous. I'm still trying to
Yeah,
process it.
if you're watching episode 4 and you haven't watched episode 3,
Go back.
go back, go find the clip from episode 3.
That's not just being opinionated. That's just being insane. It is. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.